2012, more than 3,000 eager passengers board the luxury liner Costa Concordia for a week-long voyage along the Italian coastline. But disaster strikes after the ship's captain, Francesco Schettino, navigates the vessel off course toward the tiny scenic island of Giglio. The ship rams into rocks in shallow water and eventually capsizes. 4,200 passengers and crew scramble for their lives.
The way that the captain and the crew members handled the situation was an absolute god-awful mess. First of all, they told everybody everything was all right, which it wasn't. They received calls from the Coast Guard, apparently the Navy, asking if they need assistance and so forth, and apparently that was a negative response as well. So they're basically doing absolutely nothing to control the situation.
But Captain Schettino did do something to control his situation. He abandoned ship.
A half an hour after he told the people to abandon ship, he was in a lifeboat. There's a really good reason for that. The boat was tilting, he tripped, and he fell into a lifeboat that was lowering. That was his story. Really, that was his story.
As the Costa Concordia slowly sinks, it becomes stuck along the bottom of the sea, and it's tilting a drastic 30 degrees. Many passengers struggle to climb their way to the top, while some leap into the dark waters below. But the captain, who just hours ago greeted his passengers, has drifted to shore in a lifeboat.
This guy's just a coward, and he won't get back on the ship. The Coast Guard's telling him, that's your ship, get back on it, take care of it, do what you have to do. That's why you're a captain. He refuses.
Throughout the night, the Coast Guard rescues passengers and crew, but 40 people are still missing. Divers search underwater, looking for those who may have perished. Most of the bodies they recover right away, but the final victims aren't discovered until nearly 3 years later. 32 people in total are killed. Days after the disastrous cruise, Schettino is arrested. Prosecutors charge the captain with multiple counts of manslaughter, causing a shipwreck, and abandoning ship. The trial becomes a worldwide media event.
It was on 24 hours a day on just about every single station, and everybody, including myself, asked the same question. How could this possibly happen? It was simple. The one person that was in charge wasn't in charge.
More about Schettino's whereabouts on that fateful night are revealed in testimony.
There are some witnesses who say at the time of the impact, he was in a dining room having red wine with a pretty Moldovan dancer. This woman used to work for Costa Cruises and had just boarded the ship in Civitavecchia as a non-paying passenger. She later admitted that they were having an affair.
Prosecutors plead their case to a 3-judge jury. They describe Schettino as an idiot who was responsible for the crash and a coward for abandoning ship ahead of most of his passengers. But Schettino's defense team calls him a scapegoat. They maintain he fell into a lifeboat when the ship tilted and is not to blame for the catastrophe. That defense falls flat. In February 2015, the panel finds the 54-year-old seaman guilty of multiple counts of manslaughter for his role in the 2012 tragedy. He is sentenced to 16 years in jail.
He got what is a heavy sentence for what is an accident.
Several other crew members are also convicted and face much shorter sentences. Bottom line, experts following the case say the captain's flagrant lack of courage ultimately cost people their lives.
As captain of the ship, you're responsible for everybody there. As a crew member, you're responsible for all those people under your charge. Well, there's so many monumental disasters, missteps, mistakes, and inactions. The guy was totally incompetent. He's exactly where he needs to be. I'm sure that he'll be paying for this the rest of his life.
Imagine Sully Sullenberger over the Hudson River and his engines have just flamed out. Imagine him now grabbing a parachute, jumping out, leaving the co-pilot in charge. He didn't do that.
Captain Sullenberger's skill in landing the crippled jetliner was instrumental in saving the lives of 155 people on board, and he was the last one out of the plane, walking the flooded aisle twice before leaving to make sure everyone was out safely.
Schettino could get off the ship, and he did. He abandoned the ship because he was a coward. coward. There is no other reason.
Coming up, a self-proclaimed messiah goes rogue and plots a deadly attack along a crowded subway line in Tokyo. Now, prosecutors must prove a murder case of unfathomable proportions.
Do you have an idea for an invention, but you don't know what to do next? How do you get in front of companies or get a patent? Call InventHelp. They've been helping inventors just like you for 35 years. And thousands of people contact them every month. With 65 offices, you can meet with an InventHelp representative near you who will keep your idea confidential and explain their invention process step by step. InventHelp has helped over 10,000 inventors get patents. And they offer 3D animations and prototyping services to help demonstrate your idea. InventHelp's exclusive databank includes over 9,000 companies who have agreed to confidentially review new ideas, like yours. Don't wonder what to do next. Take action right now and get the help you need from InventHelp. InventHelp. Call today for free information.
800-916-1747. That's 800-916-1747.
Why are so many people turning to Super Beats crystals? Because Super Beats crystals give you the energy and blood pressure support you want from the real beats without the beat taste. This is Super Beats, and I swear by it. It gives me more healthy energy to keep up with my active schedule.
Inspired by the Nobel Prize-winning discovery of nitric oxide as a blood vessel signaling molecule, SuperBeats black cherry-flavored crystals unlock the nitric oxide boosting power of beet nutrients to help widen your blood vessels, supporting healthy blood flow. The better your blood flow, the more efficiently your body can use oxygen to generate energy. That's why over 120 professional and college sports teams use our beet crystals, because Super Beats not only supports healthy blood pressure, it also promotes energy and stamina for peak performance.
I'm Hunter Kemper. I'm a four-time Olympian in the sport of triathlon. Super Beats helped me win big races late into my 30s. It's increasing your circulation. It basically means that there's more blood flow going to your muscles, and that's why this product is so amazing.
Call now and find out how to get a free 30-day supply of Super Beats with your first order. Just 1 teaspoon of Super Beats gives you the functional benefit of 40 teaspoons of fresh beets without the beet taste. You'll also receive a free kit of nitric oxide indicator strips to measure your results, plus a free travel pack of our new delicious Super Beets Chews with added grapeseed extract for powerful antioxidant support, perfect for on-the-go energy. Act now, and we'll even include free shipping and free returns. That's over $30 in free gifts, all backed by our 90-day money-back guarantee.
So do something good for your heart, your circulation, your blood pressure, and your energy. You'll love Super Beats or your money back.
Call 1-800-892-0615 or go to superbeatsdeal.com. That's 1-800-892-0615. Act now.
Cult leader Shoko Asuhara, the near-blind acupuncturist, creates a religious group he calls Om Shinrikyo, which means Supreme Truth. During the 1990s, the sect boasts thousands of members, and in March 1995, Asuhara and his following plan a brutal anti-government attack. As the man who calls himself a reincarnation of Christ attempts to evade the law, authorities will have a tough time bringing closure to one of Japan's most extensive criminal investigations. Shoko Asuhara, one of 7 children, is born into a poor family. He faces his share of childhood challenges.
He had glaucoma, which blinded him in one eye, and all of it blinded him in the other eye. So he started life really with the odds against him.
In the late 1970s, Asuhara graduates from a school for the blind.
He started becoming interested in spiritual matters. It went beyond the Shinto and the traditional religions of Japan. It started to include other religions around the world. Hinduism, Buddhism at some point, and even Christianity, which really is bizarre for at least that culture.
At this point, Asuhara and his wife are raising a family. But the father of 12 is also looking to head another kind of group. He forms Om Shinrikyo, a religion that brings together Hindu and Buddhist spirituality with the teachings of the Bible's revelations. His movement explores the apocalyptic prophecies of 16th century Christian monk Nostradamus. Asuhara is determined to grow a devoted following and shares his doomsday prediction to anyone who will listen.
As part of his religion, Asahara claimed to have certain special powers innate in his body, that he could do certain things that other people couldn't, and it was a physical rather than a spiritual aspect.
So Asahara, as the supreme being, has taken it upon himself to take on all the sins of the world and all the sins